Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm on my lunch break. You can guess where I'm at, considering it's where I always am. But if you don't know, ding ding ding, I'm in my truck. So, I'm sitting on my lunch break. I'm sitting in my truck, as usual. Got the AC blowing, just got done eating, and figured I was gonna attempt to do a video yesterday on a different distro that I've been kind of looking at. Not particularly one I'm going to use necessarily, but one I've kind of thought was kind of cool looking, and it's not anything odd by any means. It's a distro that's pretty popular. It's usually towards the top of the list, if not at the top of the list on DistroWatch. Not that I think DistroWatch's rankings are very truthful, but it's usually up there, and it's one that's well known. But I still plan on making a video on that, so I'm not going to spoil it for you right now, but I also plan on doing a fresh install on my system here before too terribly long. I've had this Arco Linux setup going on for well over a year now, and not that there's anything wrong with it, but I'm just getting a lot of stuff on it with checking out different programs and things, and just kind of goofing around. So it's getting quite a bit of stuff on it, and I like to run a clean system as much as possible. I understand I'm going to have stuff built up on it and everything, but and so I'm going to be starting to look for maybe a different distro to use. So I think I'm going to chronicle that, or document that through some videos here. Just check out a few of the distributions that I'm interested in looking at and possibly interested in trying. I don't necessarily know. I've stuck pretty well with Arch-based distributions, whether it be Vanilla Arch or Arco Linux or Manjaro. That's kind of been my thing. I've only used one Debian-based distro, which is Linux Mint, and that was when I first got going. But I'm not opposed to trying a Debian or a Fedora, so I'm just going to try a few things out. It's not going to be a long-term. Not going to be a long-term look at them. I'll probably I don't know if I'll load them up in a VM or if I'll actually install them on hardware, but whatever I do, I'm gonna take a little bit longer, not just a quick boot into them, goof around, and then get out, but maybe a 1 or 2 video compilation on each of them to kind of see which one I like. So by all means, if you have any recommendations for me, like I said, I'm open to anything. SUSE, Fedora, RHEL, Arch-based, Debian-based, whatever. Doesn't make a difference to me. Like I said, I tend to stick with the Arch-based stuff. Recently, it doesn't mean I'm not open to try something else. So if you got something that you're pretty hot and bothered about and that you like, and you want to push it and have more people check it out, then let me know. I'll take a look at that, and we'll see what we find. But anyway, I digress on that. That's just kind of a heads up as to what's coming up on the channel. Thanks for tuning in today. I just got a quick video today. I wanted to talk a little bit about commands you can run in the command line that or in the shell that just how powerful it is and all the stuff you can do in it, and kind of an idea when to use what is kind of what I am. I guess not really when to use what, because like I said, I'm not an expert by any means, so I don't want to begin to tell you when to use what. But what I'll say is what I found recently that's pretty slick. I'm not real familiar with scripting and everything like that, so I'm not going to pretend to go into detail on stuff. But this was just kind of cool. It's either way. I'm going to show you 2 different ways of doing something. Either way is decent, but the second way just seems to be a little more efficient and a little more easy, I guess. And so I just thought we'd take a look at it. So we're going to bounce over here, and as you can see, I'm already in my .local projects and shell. This is kind of where I do all my goofing around and trying things out. But if we ls this directory, you're going to see I've got a few different things in here. These are a couple things I'm just goofing around with, but I created 2 files here. One's called test awk and one's called awk.txt. Now, don't get caught up on the names because they don't mean anything. I was just I just kind of threw names out there. They really have they don't pertain to anything besides the fact that at one point in here I'm going to be using the AWK command, or the AWK language. So other than that, the titles of the files don't have anything to do with anything, so don't get caught up on those. But if we look in those, so let's look in the awk.txt, you can see basically what I've done is I've run the df command, which is the disk free, and then made it human readable, and I just basically input that into a file. So basically, if we do this, I basically just did df-h, and then basically ran that command right there, and that just took the output of df-h and created the awk.txt file and put it in that file. So that's the first one. If we do test awk and we look in that one, I just created a basic file with just some words in it, or strings, but it's just basically random. There's no rhyme or reason to it besides the fact that the first row is all numbers, the second row is all animals or column, the third column is colors, the fourth column is stuff in the sky, and then the fifth column is days of the week. So I just wanted some basic information that was similar, so that when we go through these commands you can kind of see what's going on. So if you do a Control L, we're going to clear the screen there. So basically what we're going to start with is when you're going through and you're doing any type of scripting or any type of work in the command line, Unix systems have made it extremely powerful and extremely easy to basically what they call as pipeline commands. So you can take one command and take the output of that command and run the pipe symbol and pipe that into another command, and then run that command with the information that was piped into it, and you can pipe that into another command, and you can pipe that into another command. So basically you can string all these things together. And sometimes that's awesome. Sometimes you got to do that. Sometimes you have to run a fairly long pipeline. Sometimes you can do a shorter one or whatever. But sometimes that's necessary. But sometimes it's not. So that's kind of what I wanted to go over today. Again, I'm not real familiar with scripting. I don't claim to be a professional by any means. And I know a guy out there that if he watches this video and he sees any errors in it, I know he's going to point them out to me. And I'm not saying that to call him out on anything. I'm just saying I do know that if he does watch it, you know who you are. You quoted me on, or you called me out on my last video, which by the way I took down. So if any of you saw that last video get taken down, the reason I did that is because not that it was misleading. I basically tried to explain things in the simplest form I could, kind of the way they were explained to me about the shell and the command line and the prompt and everything. And while it wasn't completely inaccurate, there were some inaccuracies in it, and I don't want by any means to mislead anybody or give anybody bad information. So it was brought to my attention that there was some stuff wrong in it, so I did pull it down. It wasn't immediate, and I didn't leave it up there for a couple days just to see what would happen. I'm just lazy, and it took me a bit to take it down. But that's why that video got taken down. And I appreciate the fact that he did call me out on that stuff, because again, I don't want to be putting misleading information out there, and I don't want to have anybody watch my videos or see what I'm going over and say, boy, this guy's an idiot, he shouldn't be doing that. Because if I'm wrong on something, I want to know I'm wrong on it. He went into great detail, which is just awesome. I'm a very detail-oriented person. My job requires it of me. So I like the fact that he went into all that detail and everything, but if there's something wrong with what I'm doing, I want to know about it, man. Call me out on it, please. It's the only way I can improve, is if I know that I'm doing something wrong, then I can correct it. If you don't tell me something's wrong or you don't point it out to me, then I don't know it, and I'm gonna continue doing it that way, and nobody wants to continue doing this stuff wrong. So anyway, again, kind of got off on a tangent there, but that's the deal. So basically what we're going to look at today is, say you are just trying to pull some information out of a file. Like those two files are created. There's some great tools for getting information. You've got, you can do less, you can cat, you can do all this stuff to actually read the file and pull all the information, but you can also pull bits and pieces of the information that you need. So there's a great tool called cut, and then there's a tool that you can use for so much stuff, and it's called Grep. And I think these are probably two of the most popular, up there with like sed and stuff like that. But Grep, I'm pretty sure, is one of the most popular commands used. You see it everywhere. Cut is pretty popular too. It's right up there with sed and stuff like that, I believe. But say you have these two files like I've got in here, this awk.txt or this test awk. So we're going to kind of play around with these two files. We're going to start with the test awk file. So say you had you were trying to pull some information. You didn't want everything in that file. You just wanted a couple of different lines. You could come through and you could pipe a couple commands together, real simple, and it's not real long, and you could pull what information you need. So say, and I've already done this, so as I start typing, you're going to see it's going to already populate the what I'm doing. But say you wanted to pull the first and third line in the out of the file. So in each column, the first and third line. What you could do is you could take cut, and then I'll just highlight the whole thing, just go over. And if you do the -F1 and 3, those are the fields you're going to be pulling. You're going to be pulling the first field and the third field. So you're going to take cut, and you're going to do -F1, 3, which is going to pull the first and the third field. And then I have basically the delimiter. The -D is the delimiter, which basically means where are the fields, what's separating the fields. And I have that set to a space, because like I said when I showed you the file before, you've got all those fields and they're just space separated. So this right here, the parenthesis, or the quotations, the double quotations with the space in between them, just means that my delimiter that's going to separate my fields is a space. And we're going to run that on the test awk, on the test awk file. And if we hit enter, you can see what we've got is we've got the first field and the second field. Their space is limited, but we've cut the rest of them out. So that's pretty slick. You can just do cut, you can run that, and that's what you get. So if you want to go on farther, what you can do is you can take that, and you can take the output of that, and you can pipe it into Grep, and say you want to do blue. If you hit enter, that's just going to knock it down to just that one line that's got the 1 and the blue. Again, if you wanted to do that, and say you wanted to do it with orange and GE, if I could spell, now you've just got field 3, or row 3 and orange. So pretty slick. So with just that, you pipe these two commands together, and you have what you need. You could take that and do, I think you could do, maybe it's comma, no, it's going to tell you a different one. So anyway, I digress. I hadn't tried that yet. So again, I'm learning this as I go along too. So, so basically, you take that and you can either get all of the first and third fields on every single row, or you can pipe it into Grep and you can get just the row that has what you've requested from Grep. So that's pretty cool. Nice and easy. It's a short it's a short little script there, short little command to actually just separate some information out of a file. So let's take a look at what happens, or let's take a look at the other way you can do that. If you want to take that and just use the AWK command, what you do is you can use AWK single quote, and then we're going to use the test awk again. But what we can see here is instead of using two commands and stringing them together in a pipeline, you can use a single command using just awk, and you can get the same thing. So basically what we have here is, you can see up here we've got 3 and we've got orange, and we've got 1 and we've got blue, basically by taking that cut command and then piping it into Grep. Well, what we can do here is the first time we got the first and third fields on all the rows. So if we take this and we do awk and we do a single quote, and then we do a squiggly bracket, which is the official scientific term for those, if you didn't know, squiggly bracket. And then we say we want to print, and we want to print field 1. Now I have them separated here. I have that. So here, let's just do this. So we're going to do field 1, and we're going to take this out for a minute. I was just goofing around with stuff. We want to do field 1, and we want to do field 3. It's just like before. So it's $1 and $3 is going to tell us we want to print field 1, field 3, and then we do a closing squirrely bracket, and then we tell the file we want to run this on. So if we do this using the one command, now we have 1 blue, 2 red, 3 orange, 4 black, 5 white. Now you can see the one difference is that there is no spacing between, even though I have a space here, there is no spacing between the arguments, or between the fields. So basically, if we want to fix that, you can do the same command, and in between the two fields you want, you do double quotes, you do a space, and then a closing double quote, and then you go out here and you hit enter, and then now we've got that space. Again, if you wanted to have something in between them, like in your etc password file, when everything's separated, they're colon separated, so you could add a colon in there if you wanted, and if you hit enter, that's going to separate them. You're going to have the space and you're going to have the colon. So anyway, there's a lot you can do. So that awk command works just like this cut command. But what's cool is if you take and use this awk command and you add in, right in the front here, you add in a / and say you want blue, then you do another / and you hit enter. Now just with that one command, instead of pipelining two commands together, with just that one command, you now have the same information you did up here by piping together two commands. Now, it's not always going to be the case. Sometimes you're not going to be able to use one command on stuff. Sometimes you are going to have to pipe. But whenever you can use one command, run one program, whatever, it's usually a benefit. You know, it helps on system resource usage. It's gonna have a time effect. Sometimes maybe not noticeable, but there will be a difference in how long it takes to run two as opposed to one. So there are certain benefits. So if you're looking for output as fast as possible or anything like that, sometimes this is going to be a better route to go. So that being said, there's a time that let's clear this screen. Let's take a look at the other file now, because we're going to run these same commands, but we're going to see what happens on something here. Let's look at that awk.txt file again real quick. And see here, this is the output. Like I said, this is the output of my df-h command. So my disk-free, human readable, and then I input that into a file, and this is what we get. So basically we have the file system in field 1, we have the size in field 2, we have how much used in field 3, we have available in field 4, use percentage in field 5, and where it's mounted in field 6. So that being said, you think everything's going to work just the same on this file as it did the other. So let's quit out of that. Let's go ahead and take a look. So we're just going to go up here, and I'm going to do this the easy way. So basically we're going to run that exact same command we ran the first time, that we ran on test awk, and we got the first and the third field that are delimited by spaces. So based on what we saw in that when we opened up that file, we should have the file system, and then we should have the size. The file system, then the size, and then what was field 3? Field 3 was used. How much was used? I think it was. Well, crap. Now we're gonna go through this again. So let's just take a look at it again. So last awk.txt. So okay, so yeah, we're gonna have used. So it's the first and the third field. We're gonna have file system, and then we're gonna have how much of that file system is used. I'm sorry. So basically, let's run back through this, and we're gonna run this command on the awk.txt file. So basically, we're gonna cut field 1 and 3. The delimiter is going to be spaces, and we're going to run that on the awk.txt file. So again, we should see file system, and we should see amount used. Now let's hit it. Okay, we have the file system, we have our first, but what do you see? What's missing? There's only 2 rows here that gave us the quote-unquote third field. Why is that? What do we have going on? Well, what's going on is when you use the cut command, I don't know if there's a way around this yet. I've been kind of looking around. I think there's probably some way you can use maybe the tr command or something like that. But the cut command doesn't see each individual space, or sees each individual space in the white space. It doesn't see just the white space as space. So when it counts your delimiters, the third field for this is a space, because this is the first field, and then after these we had space, 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 space before we got to use, whereas this one there's just the one space. So when you use the cut command, then it doesn't count the full white space as one space. So that basically makes it a little harder, because now in this case, like I said, I think you can use like the tr command. Maybe is it the tr command? I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that, because again, I'm I'm not 100% positive, but there's probably a way you can do it. But again, that's going to be stringing into it another command, or it's going to be a lot more typing or whatever. Building out your script to have more into it, it's just going to be more time and labor intensive to do it, if you can do it. But let's take that same file, and now let's run awk on it. And so this is going to be the same command as we had before. You can see it's awk, and then we have the single quotation, the squiggly bracket, very scientific term. Then we want to print field 1, and I'm going to leave this in there just, well, you know what, no, we can take that out. So just so you can see, we're going to do apples to apples here. So we want to do field 1 and we want to do field 3. And then we do our closing parenthesis, and we're going to run it on awk.txt. So let's run it on awk.txt. And again, this is the same command we ran before, just like this is the same command we ran before the first time. Let's see what awk does. Now, they're not separated, but as you can see, we've got dev 0, run 9.6. So let's separate those out. Let's put a space in between them. And now you can see we've got used. Up here there was no space in there. We've got file system and used. That's in our headings. And then we have dev. We've got 0 used, run 6.9 used. So this, in every single one of them, we can see that it actually pulled the third field that we were actually looking for. And why is that? Well, because awk will count a full white space for a space. No matter how many spaces are in there, that white space is going to be accounted for right here. So, sorry, my wife's texting me, and I'm sitting in my truck, and it's all connected to my truck, so yada yada yada. So you're getting the dings from my wife's text. But anyway, so like I said, both ways are cool, and they're really not that intensive to use. If you have to do the cut and then pipe it into grep or whatever, you know, by all means, feel free. But sometimes there's going to be an easier, better way. And so just being able to take this awk command and use one command, throw an argument in it, and be good to go, then sometimes that's just going to be a lot easier than trying to string together this command and pipe it into that command and whatever. But, you know, by all means, whatever works for you and whatever you're comfortable doing. I just thought that was pretty cool. Like I said, I'm kind of new to the whole scripting thing, so I'm kind of learning this stuff as I go. But the more I do it and the more I see stuff like this, it's really cool to me. So again, I appreciate you guys checking out the channel and watching this video. If this helped you out, great. I hope so. If you already knew this, great. You're a mile ahead of me. But thanks for watching. I really do appreciate it. Do me a favor, if you haven't already, give me a like and a subscribe. I'm here. I'm doing this stuff to, you know, 1, to learn from myself and everything, but 2, kind of document that journey, and also 3, to help out whoever can help out along the way. I can't do this without you guys subscribing and liking my channel. I'd like to see it grow. If it does, great. If it doesn't, you know, I guess it's not the end of the world. But yeah, I appreciate it. And I hope you guys have enjoyed this, and have a great day. Remember, check out my next couple videos coming up, or for a while here coming up, are going to be some distro videos, just to kind of check things out and see kind of where I want to head once I decide to do my clean install. And, you know, who knows, maybe I'll just go with Arch Linux again, but I'm thinking I'm going to try something a little different. So yeah, let me know. Like and subscribe. Hit the bell for some notifications. Give me a comment again, like I said, if you have any ideas on something I should try that maybe you tried and you liked, or something that's interesting to you, or whatever. But yeah, and again, you know who you are. If you watch this video and you see anything that I'm incorrect on, please correct me. Not that you're my personal grammar or spell checker type dude, but, you know, if you're still watching the channel, which I think you are because you commented on my last one, but if you're still watching the channel, you see anything wrong or anything incorrect, please point it out. Let me know. I'd like to correct it. So yeah, everybody have a great day. God bless, and thanks for watching.